Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
New for you now at 5, a 40-year-old man is facing several charges after investigators say they found child pornography on his computer. According to court documents, Justin Hatcher is charged with 11 counts of possession of certain prohibited materials, which are felonies. Records show officers found numerous images of nude children. Officers found 27 images on Hatcher's devices. They say most of the pictures were of young children between the ages of 5 and 16. Hatcher admitted to saving around 100 images of child porn. We now know the name of the man found dead inside a car at North Dakota State College of Science in Fargo. Fargo police have identified the man as 84-year-old Wayne Blanchard. The call came in around 7:20 Tuesday morning to the campus at 19th Avenue North, citing an unknown problem with an elderly man in his car. When police arrived, they discovered that Blanchard was dead. No foul play is suspected at this time. Before we can get to the nice weekend warm-up, we have to deal with some snow and rain. To find out who's affected and when, let's head over to the First Alert Storm Team for your no-wait weather planner. Hutch?
Thanks so much, Andrea. As we take a look out at that tower cam tonight, we do see some clouds off to the western sky, and here is the latest look at the radar. As we take a look at that radar, we do see out to the west there's some showers and even thunderstorms. A severe thunderstorm warning issued for the Bismarck area, and those storms are pushing down into north central parts of South Dakota. I'm not expecting any thunder or lightning, but for our area, look at northwest Minnesota. Some snow showers blossoming in that general direction, and temperatures cold enough, well, for some snow north, but warm enough for some mixed precipitation south. So your planning forecast this evening in the FM area, temperatures pretty steady, mid-30s throughout. It's going to continue to be windy with gusts over 20 miles per hour likely. And we will have a chance, a slight chance of some spits of rain or maybe even some sleet here in the south. Up north, a chance for light snow with temperatures that will be in the lower 30s up there. We'll have details on a nice warming trend to close out our work week, Andrea, here in just a few moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch. Law enforcement in Rolette County want you to know about a sex offender who has failed to register. This man on your screen right now, 56-year-old Thomas Morgan, is wanted in Minnesota for failure to register as a sex offender and possession of drug paraphernalia. Anyone with information can call the Rolette County Sheriff's Office at the number on the bottom of your screen. The North Dakota Attorney General's office is investigating the Fargo and Bismarck Catholic Diocese. That and other information was revealed today at a news conference with lawyers representing sex abuse victims. More than a dozen priests are being publicly named for sexually abusing minors in North Dakota. According to the documents, the incidents date back to the 1960s and 70s. The lawyers are calling for state lawmakers to change the statute to allow their clients to file civil suits against the diocese.
And what we're doing today is asking the legislature to open up a window so that these survivors can come forward all at the same time and tell their story and have justice and make these dioceses and these priests accountable for their actions.
We'll have more on this story tonight on Valley News Live at 6. The mayors of Fargo, Moorhead, and West Fargo are informing the community about how the cities are preparing for a potential coronavirus hit. No confirmed cases of the virus have come from Minnesota or North Dakota. Local health officials laid out a plan for prevention in the metro that includes washing your hands, covering coughs, and cleaning frequently touched surfaces. If you have traveled to certain countries, watch for symptoms of a respiratory illness for 14 days after returning. That includes fever, cough, and shortness of breath. And call your doctor if you develop symptoms. Lawmakers have reached a more than $8 billion deal to combat coronavirus in the U.S. This as California reports its first coronavirus death and Washington confirms its 10th. Sarah Dolph has the story.
Shifting front lines in the fight against coronavirus as new cases emerge. 6 in Los Angeles County, where officials have declared a local health emergency to access additional resources.
We need every tool at our disposal to make sure that we are ready to support any coronavirus patients who are diagnosed and to prevent any further spread.
A school in Rhode Island closed. A third person associated with a school trip to Italy came down with coronavirus. And New York confirming family members and a neighbor of a Westchester man with the virus have also tested positive.
We know what this coronavirus is. It is easily transmitted, but 80% of the people who get the virus will self-resolve.
Congressional negotiators reaching an agreement on $8.3 billion in emergency funding. The final bill could be on the president's desk by the end of the week and would help efforts to dramatically ramp up diagnostic testing. Officials shipping 75,000 new test kits, announcing any American can now be tested for coronavirus pending a doctor's orders.
I want to thank those that are gathered around the table.
Vice President Mike Pence meeting with leaders from the nation's top diagnostic labs just after he and President Trump sat down with the CEOs of U.S. airlines.
All passengers on all direct flights from all airports in Italy or South Korea are being screened on multiple times before they board any of these airlines.
As the CDC instructs travelers returning from those regions, as well as Iran and China, to stay home and monitor their health for 2 weeks. Sarah Dolph, NBC News.
Late today, 5 more cases were confirmed in New York. Although there are treatments being tested right now, medical experts say it will likely be next year before a vaccine is ready for the public. 2 people traveling through Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport are now under self-quarantine after being exposed to the coronavirus in Europe. Officials with the Minnesota Health Department say the 2 passengers were in close contact with someone who has a confirmed case of COVID-19 while in Europe. Upon landing at MSP, the passengers were evaluated on the plane by a medical professional from the quarantine station and determined to not have symptoms of COVID-19. But due to their contact with a confirmed case, they have been instructed to self-quarantine for 14 days. If they develop symptoms, they will be tested for COVID-19. The superintendent of North Dakota Public Schools is now going to rehab after getting pulled over for DUI. Kirsten Baszler admits getting into her car and driving after drinking, and she's asking for forgiveness. Baszler was arrested last week in Mandan by a state trooper. You can read her full apology on the VNL app. A 76-year-old man is dead following a head-on collision in Bemidji, Minnesota. Police say it happened just after 5 this morning in Bemidji. A 32-year-old man from St. Cloud crossed the center line, hitting the van driven by the 76-year-old man from Pennington. Authorities say that man died at the hospital. The 32-year-old and a passenger were treated on scene for injuries and also taken to a hospital. Joe Biden is riding high after a string of Super Tuesday wins launched him to the top of the 2020 Democratic field. Now hoping a new endorsement from another ex-rival will help him keep momentum through a series of pivotal matchups with Bernie Sanders over the next 2 weeks. Alice Barr is in Washington with the latest.
Joe Biden supercharged today after a night that was expected to tilt toward Bernie Sanders.
We are very much alive!
Super Tuesday instead rocketing Biden to the top in what is rapidly becoming a head-to-head matchup with Sanders, a showdown between the party's moderate and progressive wings.
What this campaign, I think, is increasingly about is which side are you on?
The Biden boost continuing today with a new endorsement from Mike Bloomberg, who ended his short, expensive, and unsuccessful run. Today pledging to use his considerable resources to help Biden beat President Trump.
I entered the race for president to defeat Donald Trump. And today, I am leaving the race for the same reason.
Sanders leads in Tuesday's biggest prize, California, though a large number of mail-in ballots mean it's still too early to call. NBC News projects he did carry Colorado, Utah, and Vermont. Biden picking up 10 projected wins from New England to the Midwest and a clean sweep of southern states, surging to a surprise victory in delegate-rich Texas.
I think the Democrats have sent the signal that they really want to come after Trump. And they think Biden is the guy to do it.
The last wild card, Elizabeth Warren, assessing her path forward after a dismal Super Tuesday, finishing third in her home state of Massachusetts.
Elizabeth Warren, if she does drop out and endorse Bernie Sanders, this race will tighten even more.
2 candidates now squaring off to slug out the nominations state by state in the weeks ahead.
Officials say the race now shifts to 6 states voting next Tuesday and 4 more the following week, including the critical test of Florida.